Hello. So the body can hold a lot of not only physical tension, but also emotional tension. And that can happen anywhere in the body. A lot of times it can happen between kind of the head and the pelvis. So some people, or maybe even in their jaw, some people in their jaw, neck and shoulders, chest, diaphragm, belly, hips, low back. These are some of the common places that not only, again, do we feel that kind of physical tension, but we can also feel like, oh, that's where my stress. Some people say that's where my stress lives, or that's where my grief lives. Or I notice that I notice when my shoulders are up by my ears, like something's happening. I'm freaked out about something. And so our bodies respond to our emotional landscape. And so a lot of times what happens is people think about, oh, I just have to do the opposite. And that can be really helpful. So if I'm tight in my chest because of whatever, fear, anxiety, protection, name grief, it can be so many different things. If I just open up and go the opposite direction, that'll fix it. Um, but the way that I like to work with it, and the way that I work with it in when I work with clients in yoga therapy, is we actually want to honor that protective mechanism. So even though constriction or tightness, or we might even call it pain, is very uncomfortable, is mildly to very, very uncomfortable. There can be a protective mechanism of that discomfort, contraction, tension, pain. And so rather than just kind of powering through to get it to open or to go the other direction, I actually like to start with going very subtly towards it. So today we're going to work with the chest with that. And you might notice that you have tension in other areas, and I might do some other videos around other areas of the body. But if you notice you feel part of your stress response, and this isn't true for everybody, but it might be true for some of us who are watching. If you feel like you kind of collapse into your chest when you have a stress response, what would it feel like to just go into that a little tiny bit? Like I say sometimes to clients, like 10%. So we're not trying to over exaggerate it so much where it's causing more pain or it's causing more stress, but we're just acknowledging that, like, yes, here's this part that's trying to keep me contained, or keep me protected, or keep me safe, or uh, keep me guarded. And so you might even ask your body, like, as you do this, if this is something that resonates with you, if you feel kind of tension in your chest at times, if you move towards that tension and just about 10%, and you ask it, what is it trying to do? Is it protecting? Is it guarding? Is it keeping you safe? Is it something totally different? And then sometimes once you're able to meet it with an acknowledgement of, like, oh, this is something that might be trying to help me even if it's hurting me, then if you go into the opposite direction, sometimes that that tension, tightness can actually have a little bit of release. So we're going to do that just a couple of times. And again, if you do this and it causes more pain or discomfort, do even less. Do 5%, do 2%. Can you find 1%? And then you're just going to go in ever so slightly towards the tension. And then you're going to go to the opposite. And this doesn't have to be a big movement either. So you're not necessarily going to 100% the opposite. This can also be 20%. 25%. And then we'll just do that 2 more times. So as you come forward, you just come in a little bit towards that tension, and then you'll go and open it towards the opposite. So for me, the opposite is opening up the chest in this direction. For you, the opposite might be opening up maybe side to side, or maybe it's dropping the shoulders down versus the shoulders up. So there's a lot happening in the chest area. So I'm doing sort of back and forth, but you can also explore like what's your tension shape and what's the opposite of that tension shape. And we'll do one more. And then once you've gone towards the tension, go towards the opposite. And then we'll come back to what's kind of in the middle. So you're not contracted forward, nor are you very open, but you're someplace in the middle. And then if you can, if it feels accessible and tolerable, you can put one hand to your chest, and it feels accessible and tolerable. You can bring one hand to your back. It may or may not reach kind of upper back, and that's fine. And as you take a few breaths into your hands, sometimes I like to close my eyes here just to get a sense of, okay, I just did something. What was the impact of that thing? What am I noticing with the tension? If there was an emotion that I associated with that tension, what's happening with that emotion? Was there a release? Did the tension actually increase? And there's no right or wrong. So there's just observing what happened for you. And then if you've got your hands on your chest and on your back, you can release your hands. And this can be a good time to journal, to explore the emotion that came up. Maybe there were images that arose, maybe there was different emotions that came up. Maybe there's tightness somewhere else where you want to kind of explore the same process of moving towards it 10% and then opening up and going towards the opposite a little bit. So if there's anything that feels important to explore for yourself, maybe that's through artwork. Great, feel free to do that. And with seed yoga therapy, if this is something that you want to explore more fully with support, this is also something that I do in my individual sessions. So if you're curious and you want to learn more, you can sign up for a free consultation on my website at seedyogatherapy.com. Thanks for watching.